So here's a question for you. Have you ever seen a huge, expensive AI project just fizzle out, even when the tech itself was absolutely amazing? Today, we're diving into that exact paradox to uncover the real reason why this happens, a fascinating concept called the shadow mechanism. All right, let's get right into it. The thing is, the biggest, most persistent failures in AI adoption, they almost never happen because of bad code or a faulty model. Nope, they happen after the technology has already been proven to work perfectly. So, what gives? What is the real problem here? Well, when you dig into it, the central issue isn't technical at all. It's human. Organizations don't resist AI because it's faulty. They resist it because it shines a light on some very deep-seated issues around power and control that, frankly, they just are not ready to face. And a lot of this denial comes from a fundamental clash. You've got AI, which evolves at this unbelievable velocity, literally changing in weeks. And then you have our institutions, which, are designed to be slow and stable. They run on quarterly reports and yearly plans. Trying to jam a system that needs constant motion into a process built for stability? Yeah, it's a recipe for failure. And this quote just nails the core of the paradox, doesn't it? Getting AI adoption right isn't about better tech or faster deployment schedules. It's about people. It's about understanding our own psychology, our fears, and really getting honest about who's in control. So this leads us to the first crucial point. We have to completely reframe how we even see AI. The very first mistake most organizations make is thinking of it as just another tool in the toolbox. Think about it. A tool, like a spreadsheet, just helps you do what you already do, maybe a little faster. But AI is a structural force. It actually gets inside the gears of power in an organization. It changes who does the analysis, who gets to sign off on it, and even who gets blamed when things go wrong. It fundamentally changes the game of how decisions get made. Calling AI a tool feels safe, right? It's comfortable, it lets everyone put off dealing with these massive structural power shifts. It lets leadership feel like they're still holding the reins. But what it really does is create this huge gap between what the company says it's doing and what's actually happening on the ground. And this gap, this space between what AI can do and what an organization is willing to admit it's doing, this is what creates the dynamic that our source material calls the shadow mechanism. Now, this is a really cool concept, and it's actually borrowed from psychology. See, your personal shadow isn't some evil thing. It's just the parts of yourself that you push down or deny because they don't quite fit with how you see yourself. But they don't just go away. They operate in the background indirectly. So let's scale that up. At an organizational level, AI becomes the institutional shadow. The company builds it, buys it, and people come to rely on it. But officially, its true influence is denied. Power is taken from what the AI produces, but no formal responsibility is ever actually given to the system. It's power without a paper trail. And here is the key takeaway, the really critical part. Power that is denied doesn't just evaporate. It goes underground. It starts to warp behavior in weird ways. And eventually, it comes roaring back in ways you can't control, like employees secretly using unapproved AI tools, or a sudden crisis that exposes how much everyone was depending on it all along. So why? Why do institutions create this dangerous shadow? Well, it's not just simple, irrational fear. It's actually a pretty complex system of psychological defenses, and they're all designed to do one thing: maintain stability and the comforting illusion of control. First on the list is something called the pilot trap. And oh man, we've all seen this. Endless pilot programs that let an organization feel super innovative. They can say they're exploring AI, all while cleverly avoiding the hard, messy political work of actually changing how power and authority are structured. I just love this quote because it reframes this common business practice so perfectly. That pilot program that's been running for 2 years, that's not being cautious, that's denial. It's the organization basically frozen, putting off a huge change that deep down it knows it has to make. Another defense mechanism is clinging to what the source calls ritual time. Look, AI can give you an answer in a split second, but our institutions create their sense of legitimacy through slow, deliberate processes. All those meetings, reports, and approval chains. So a correct answer that comes too fast, it can almost feel offensive because it skips the ritual that makes the decision feel real. And this is a fascinating one. When the official top-down adoption process is blocked, the capability doesn't just disappear. It goes underground. Your employees, they start using AI tools on their own.
privately, just to keep up. And this shadow adoption might increase productivity, sure, but it completely destroys accountability and creates this huge, invisible layer of risk that nobody officially owns. Okay, so if burying our heads in the sand and denying reality is the problem, what's the solution? Well, the answer isn't to get rid of this new power. The answer is to stop denying it and to start consciously, deliberately integrating it. To do this, the source proposes something called an integration stack. And you can think of it as a blueprint for making this invisible power visible and manageable. It's about moving from vague ideas to concrete design. You have to align the story, give AI a specific job title with clear boundaries, map out exactly who is responsible for what, build feedback loops, and design how to connect AI's fast world to the institution's slower one. And what's so crucial to understand is that this whole process isn't about just moving faster. It's about becoming more coherent, more mature. It's about an organization finally having the courage to be honest with itself about how decisions are really being made and who or what is making them. At the end of the day, it really all comes down to this one powerful principle. You simply cannot govern a power you refuse to see. You can't control it, you can't challenge it, and you certainly can't hold it accountable. Being honest internally is the absolute first step. So the real threat here isn't the AI, it's our own denial of its true impact. Every organization is facing a choice right now. Do you stick with the comfort of illusion, or do you do the hard work of building something real and honest? And that leaves us with a pretty critical question to take back to our own teams. Are we ready to stop hiding?